All right, so today we're diving into something pretty wild. Activist investing and the GameStop saga. You know, it just keeps going.
Yeah, it really does.
You've sent over a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Reddit threads, financial news, even company filings.
Uh-huh.
And there's this buzz about the icons in GameStop.
Interesting, right?
Like maybe there's some power play happening.
Oh, yeah. GameStop. Always something interesting.
So that's our mission today.
Okay.
We got to cut through all the hype,
Right.
look at the cold, hard facts,
That's the
see if
wallet.
there's anything really there,
Yeah.
and what it could mean for GameStop, if it is.
Definitely.
But before we go there,
Yeah.
we have to start with the OG of activist investors.
The man himself. Carl Icahn.
Exactly.
You know, instead of just like giving you a bio,
Yeah.
let's think about him. His style.
Okay.
This is someone who made his fortune by pushing companies to change. Mergers, acquisitions, restructuring. He's not afraid of a fight. And he's always on the lookout for these undervalued assets. You know, places where he can unlock shareholder value.
He's not messing around.
Nope.
So the big question is, does GameStop fit into that?
Right. Well, there are some clues out there. Remember early 2021?
Right after the squeeze?
Exactly. Sources said Carl was building a short position in GameStop.
Wait, he was betting against GameStop.
It seems that way, yeah.
But why? If he's interested in it now, it doesn't make sense.
That's where it gets interesting. Shorting GameStop back then, well, that was a bad bet. Shorts lost over $1 billion that year.
Wow.
But see, Carl's different. He's got deep pockets. He can hold a position for a long time, waiting for the right moment.
Ah, I see. So maybe he saw potential in GameStop, even if he was betting against the hype at that time.
Exactly. And then you have Ryan Cohen entering the picture.
Right. Mr. Chewy himself turned that company into an e-commerce giant.
And now he's leading GameStop, pushing for a total digital makeover.
And that's got to be appealing to someone like Ichan.
Oh, absolutely. A company with turnaround potential, led by a proven winner. In a sector Ichan knows well, retail. It's almost too perfect.
And then there's the Newell brand thing.
Right. 2023, Ichan leaves the company.
Frees up a lot of resources. Some people saw it as a sign he was prepping for something big.
Yeah,
And of course, the internet went wild.
of course.
This whole theory about Ichan and Cohen teaming up to take on Amazon,
Yeah.
is that even remotely possible?
Well, it's definitely still in the rumor stage.
Yeah.
But there are some pieces that make it more than just a fantasy. Think about Brett Icahn, Carl's son.
Yeah.
He's made a name for himself in tech investing.
Right. Big bets on companies like Netflix,
Yeah.
Apple. So he's got that digital disruptor mindset.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting. Because the whispers aren't about beating Amazon at its own game. It's about creating a totally different game altogether.
Right. Like all those threads about integrating gaming, blockchain, digital assets. They're talking about a whole new e-commerce ecosystem.
Yeah. Taking advantage of the move away from these big centralized platforms, giving more control to the consumer, more transparency. It's bold, but can they pull it off? Is there any evidence?
Let's play detective. We're deep in speculation territory here, but there's got to be some signs.
All right, let's start with GameStop itself. Under Cohen, they've been making big investments in e-commerce, new partnerships, building up their tech. And that's the kind of thing that attracts an activist investor, like Icahn.
Okay, point one for Team Ichan Cohen. Not proof, but definitely movement in the right direction. What else?
Then you got the leadership changes.
Yeah.
Cohen's shaken up the executive team, brought in people who share his vision.
Which could just be normal CEO stuff, but
But someone like Icahn, he demands results. These changes, they could be setting the stage for something much bigger.
interesting. So we've got strategic investments, a shift in leadership. Anything else?
Well, don't forget Icah's own history. He's shown interest in retail before.
Apple, yeah. Even Blockbuster, though that one didn't pan out.
Right, but the point is he's willing to bet big. On consumer tech, on entertainment. He's not afraid to shake things up if he sees an opportunity.
Okay, I'm seeing a pattern here. We've got a lot of things lining up
Yeah.
that could point to Ichan's involvement. But before we get carried away, let's play devil's advocate for a second. What are the challenges? What could stop this whole thing in its tracks?
Good point. It's easy to get caught up in the hype.
Right.
But let's be real. This is Amazon we're talking about. Their logistics, their tech, it's massive.
Yeah, it's not enough to have a good idea. You need the resources to make it happen
Right.
on a huge scale. Even with Ichan's money, catching up to Amazon's infrastructure. That's a monumental task.
Absolutely. And then you've got the whole blockchain piece.
Right. GameStop's dipped their toes in with NFTs, digital wallets.
But that's just the beginning. To build a whole e-commerce platform on blockchain, that's uncharted territory, a huge gamble. It's not guaranteed people will even use it.
So you've got the logistics hurdle, the blockchain risk, anything else.
Well, we also have to remember we're dealing with rumors here. No official word from Ichan about any involvement with GameStop. It could be all smoke and mirrors.
So what's next? What should we be looking for to see if this is all just talk or the start of something truly groundbreaking?
We watch, we wait, and we look for signs. But for now, let's have a little fun. Let's just imagine that this whole rumor is true. What would it look like? Carl Ichan, Ryan Cohen, Brett Ichan, working together to build a real competitor to Amazon.
Okay, I'm in. It's a total David versus Goliath situation. But how could they even try to take on Amazon? Where do you even start?
First things first, they got to use what they've got, their strengths. Carl Ichan, he's the veteran. He's got the money. He knows how to make deals, aggressive deals. Then you've got Ryan Cohen. He's the e-commerce guy, customer focused. And he's got that meme stock magic.
Right.
And Brett, he gets the tech. He understands disruption.
It's like a superhero team, each with their own superpower. But even then, they'd still be behind, right? Logistically. All that infrastructure. It seems impossible to build that from scratch, to compete with Amazon.
You're not wrong. That's where partnerships come in. Think about it. What if they could work with companies that already have the infrastructure for logistics, delivery, companies that can rival Amazon already?
So instead of building it all themselves, they team up with companies that already have the trucks, the warehouses, the whole network. That's smart.
Exactly. Play in your strengths, find the right partners, and don't forget, they've also got the GameStop brand.
You mean like the meme stock army? All those investors that are already emotionally invested in GameStop's success.
Exactly. That's something you can't just buy. It's a built-in customer base, a community that's passionate about GameStop, wants to see them win.
That's huge. Amazon might have the algorithms, but GameStop has the heart.
Now remember, this is all hypothetical, but if they play their cards right, leverage their strengths, build those partnerships, tap into that GameStop community, they might, just might, have a fighting chance.
Okay, so that's the best case scenario. GameStop takes on Amazon, changes the whole e-commerce world, shows everyone that even the giants can fall. But what about the other side? What if this all falls apart, the rumors are false, or the plan just doesn't work?
We got to think about that too. Not every venture works out, even with the best people, the best plans. And the challenges here, they're huge.
So what does failure look like? Does GameStop just go back to being, well, a struggling retailer?
Not necessarily. Remember, Cohen's vision, it's not just about beating Amazon. It's about going digital, embracing new tech, blockchain, creating something new for gamers, tech people.
Right, so even if they don't become the next Amazon, they can still find success in the digital world.
Exactly. They might not take down the giant, but they could become a force on their own.
Okay, so we've talked about the extremes, the big win, and the, well, not so exciting failure. But what about something in between? What's a realistic scenario?
Probably a gradual transformation. GameStop, with Cohen leading the way, and maybe Ichan backing him up. They keep investing in e-commerce, expand what they offer online, explore new tech. They might not kill Amazon, but they slowly become a stronger company, more digital, more savvy.
A slow and steady approach, focusing on building a real business, not chasing some impossible dream.
Right. They build on what they're good at, keep that community happy, and step by step, they grow. They might not take over the whole market, but they could create their own little empire in a specific niche.
It's not as flashy, but it might be the best way. But even then, there are ripple effects, right? If GameStop does become a real player in the digital world, what happens to everyone else? How does Amazon react?
That's a great point. Even if they don't beat Amazon, their success could change the industry.
It's like you drop a pebble in a pond, and the ripples go everywhere.
Exactly. What if GameStop shows everyone that there's another way, a different way to do e-commerce, more decentralized, more community-driven? Other companies might start to follow their lead.
So it's not just GameStop versus Amazon. It's a potential shift in the whole system.
Right. Their success could spark something new, force the big players like Amazon to change, adapt. You could see more competition, more choices for consumers, a more exciting online market.
That's a pretty exciting thought. But what about Amazon? How do they react to a new challenger, even a small one? Would they even care?
Well, Amazon. They're known for being, well, very competitive and innovative. They're always growing, buying new companies, pushing the limits of what's possible online. They're not going to ignore a threat, even a small one.
So maybe this could start an arms race. Everyone trying to innovate, to expand, and the consumers win because there's more competition.
It's definitely possible. And don't forget the investors. If GameStop does well, the people who believed in them, they could see big returns, even if they don't become the next Amazon. Any progress towards a stronger business, it could make investors happy, and that could push the stock price up.
Okay, so we've looked at a lot of scenarios. The big win against Amazon, the slow and steady transformation, and in each one, this whole power play, it could have a big impact beyond just GameStop. It's a fascinating story. And it's not over yet.
It really is. It shows you how unpredictable things are, the power of new ideas, and, that classic underdog story never gets old.
Speaking of underdogs, for our listeners who are really following this, what should they be looking for? To see if this is real or just hype? What are the clues?
Great question. A few key things. First, GameStop's SEC filings. Those documents, they give you a peek inside how the company's doing, their investments, any partnerships they might be making.
So we're looking for anything unusual, any signs they're making moves that fit with this rumored plan.
Yep.
Second, keep an eye on who they hire, new leadership, if they bring in people. With experience in e-commerce, logistics, blockchain, that could mean they're serious about building what they need to compete on a larger scale.
It's like we're solving a mystery. The pieces might seem small, but put them together, and you get the story.
And don't forget announcements about partnerships. If GameStop starts working with companies that are good at things they're not, like logistics, delivery, data stuff, that's a big sign that they're building the team to take on Amazon.
Okay, so SEC filings, leadership changes, partnership announcements, anything else?
Don't forget the big picture, what's happening in the market, especially with decentralized platforms and blockchain. How much interest is there?
So if consumers start wanting alternatives to Amazon, that helps GameStop, right? It creates the right conditions.
Exactly. Those big trends, the things shaping e-commerce, they're important. Even if this Ichan thing isn't true, those trends are real.
Right. The rumor might just be a spark, but it started a conversation about what's possible. Exactly. And that's why this whole story is so interesting. It's not just about one company or one investor. It's about disruption. The possibility of a totally new way to buy and sell online.
It reminds you, even in a world with these huge companies, change can still happen.
And sometimes the craziest ideas, the ones that seem impossible, they're the ones that change everything.
Well said. So for now, we wait, we watch, and we stay open to the possibilities.
Definitely. Because in business, in finance, just like in life, change is the only thing you can count on.
Great point. That's a great place to stop. But before we go, we have one final thought, something for our listeners to think about as they navigate this whole e-commerce world.
Oh, I like this. A cliffhanger. What is it?
What if? What if they're not actually going after Amazon?
Oh.
What if they're aiming even bigger, like disrupting the whole financial system?
Oh, okay. That's a big idea. You're thinking decentralized finance? DeFi.
Exactly. Think about it. GameStop and blockchain. NFTs. Digital wallets. Those can be the first steps to building something entirely new, a whole new financial system, one that cuts out the banks, the middlemen.
That's radical, but it kind of fits with Ichan and Cohen. Disruptors, that's what they do.
Right. And don't forget Brett. He's seen how tech can change everything. Netflix, Apple. Could he be the one to build this DeFi thing?
It's possible, and think about what that means. Imagine financial transactions directly between people, no banks, no fees. That's a huge shift. Real power to the people.
That's the whole idea of DeFi.
Yeah.
But it's not easy. Regulations, security, making it work for everyone. Those are big problems.
For sure. It takes more than just an idea. But if anyone could do it, maybe it's this team, the resources, the guts. They've got it. So how would we even know? What should we look for if they're really serious about DeFi?
Watch what they do with blockchain. Can't just be NFTs and wallets if they start building more.
Yeah.
Sophisticated applications, more complex stuff. That could be a sign that they're laying the groundwork for a DeFi platform.
Makes sense.
And partnerships. They'd probably need to team up with others in the DeFi space.
Yeah, almost definitely. DeFi is complicated, always changing. They'd need experts, smart contracts, decentralized exchanges, stable coins, that kind of stuff.
That's so. Deeper blockchain integration, DeFi partnerships, maybe even Ichan or Cohen saying something publicly, hinting at it. It's like a treasure hunt, looking for clues.
It is. And even though it's all speculation right now, it's pretty exciting to think about. This could change everything, not just e-commerce, but finance itself.
Well, that's our deep dive into the icons, GameStop, and all this speculation. It's a story that's still going. And it shows us, even in a world with these massive companies, disruption is always possible.
Absolutely. And sometimes those big ideas, the ones that seem impossible, they're the ones that change everything.
So to all our listeners, stay curious, stay informed, and keep your eyes open. The future is happening right now, and who knows what's coming next.
Until next time, keep diving.